Hi, everyone. Welcome.
Hello, welcome guys.
I'm back. And this is Parul. We just wanted to jump on today and introduce ourselves. We did our NLP training together and we collaborate a lot. We spent a lot of time talking about coaching and what we can offer our clients and how we can help people transform. And so we have decided that we're going to, create these videos for you on a regular basis, just talking about some of the topics that often come up in our conversations. So this is the first of what I hope is many.
Yes, and thank you for that, Beck. Beautiful introduction to our series. So, like Beck said, this is how we met. We were both in an NLP course together. I am a confidence coach, and I work with women in helping them shatter their fears and self-doubt and step into their power. And I do that with different techniques that I have under my belt, like NLP, emotional freedom technique, inner child healing, somatic past work, just to name a few. And because Beck and I have this common interest in NLP, which happens to be an incredible tool for transformation, we thought, why don't we bring you guys a series of videos and content that can truly help you understand how your mind works, how your language, beliefs, patterns, memories, past experiences, all of that has together shaped who you are and continues to shape your reality. So we are going to break down some concepts for you over the next few videos and hopefully help you guys understand how your mind works.
Yeah, cool. Thank you. Thanks for explaining all of that, Parul. Absolutely love what you do. And we do have a lot of similarities in the work that we do. We both use NLP as a modality, but we do have differences as well. And I think we were just having a conversation before we started this recording about collaborating. And, this was a question I heard on somebody else's podcast actually only last week, talking about, and I am going a little bit off topic here, but I think this is what these videos, it's just a conversation, but some people would be saying, Beck or Parul, why are you sharing this information? Isn't the purpose to, for you to get clients or for you to work with specific people? But I think we both truly believe that the right people will be drawn to us for the right reason. And we both have different strengths, even though we do work in the same space. I mean, we were saying this earlier as well, weren't we? Our ultimate goal really is to, in the bigger picture, create a better world,
Totally.
to help other people create a better world around them, because there is a ripple effect in the work that we do.
Yeah.
So if that means collaborating, if I can help you, if you can help me, and we can help a variety of other people, then that's a good thing, right?
Oh, 100%. And I'm so glad. Like, I don't think it's off topic. I'm actually so glad that you brought it up because I think there's like a misconception in our industry as well, where some people might also think that, oh, well, if as a coach you believe in kindness and generosity and you want to help people, why are you charging people? And, like, why do you want to make money? But at the same time, on the flip side, they can also be like this whole other group of people who are literally just out there pushing products and they don't believe in sharing the value that they can offer. So I think there's like extremes over there as well.
Yeah.
But I love the fact that both of us think in a very aligned way about how our work is about generosity, kindness, love, sharing. And when we decided to do these videos, I guess we also, both of us, really understand that how the universe works is that the more you put out and what you put out is what you get back. So if we are putting this out in an expansive way, we are giving you people true value, or we're giving you guys true value, we are helping you become masters of your own life instead of, feeling like you're the victim or feeling like everything's out of your control, then if it's meant to be, like if we can help you further on your path, I guess we will work together. But if our journey is meant to be as much as us helping you with this content, then sure, why not? It's kind of like how podcasts work as well, right? It's like how we push stuff on our social media even. So yeah, it's like, I feel like I hope I'm making a point here, but I feel like it's not so much about being scared about putting good value out there and feeling like we should be charging people for everything we do, but it's more also about a part of our purpose, and something that brings us both joy is also sharing our knowledge and sharing these learnings. So once again, if anyone can even help from this free content, that helps our purpose, and that does help make this world a better place. So yay.
Absolutely. There's so many good points in there. And partly I think this goes to show how impromptu this is. I've got dings going off everywhere in the background, so I'm just getting a few things off. And I think that's a great one, that, you know, talking about purpose and what we value the most. And I think definitely we will do a video on that down the track, because without purpose, how do we figure out what our direction in life is? And so we truly found our purpose. And that's, I know that's a lot of the work that I do with my clients. It's one of the first things we work on is, what is important to you? What do you want? Where are you going? For what purpose? And the why.
Totally.
Because and it's hard. I don't know when you did this, Parul, but when I first did it, I found it incredibly hard. And it's not something that you do once and then you never do it, of course. It's something that you continue to do. And one of my clients that I've worked with, where I've introduced this concept, they have found it difficult. You know, so I don't want to you know, give anybody any grand delusions here that the work is necessarily easy either. We are diving deep into areas that you weren't brought up to question, that even if you have questioned it a little bit throughout your life, it might have been, oh, that's starting to feel a bit uncomfortable, I'm going to move away from that.
Yes.
Don't come back to it. And this is the work that we really dive into. Yes. I think that probably is a little bit of a segue into something specific that we did want to talk about today. It's something very simple in my view, but can be difficult to master. And it does take time, and that is our language.
Oh, beautiful topic.
And there's certainly a beautiful quote that I want to refer to, but which I think helps explain things. But I wonder if you want to kick this off, Parul, because I know that specifically you want to talk about our internal language and that internal critic. And I know for a lot of the people that I work with, who are at the moment predominantly women, this is a big topic.
Totally. And yeah, I'm so happy to start off with this. Thank you. I feel like for me, like we've learned so much about our language in NLP, but also a big part of my work is working with my clients on making them aware of their inner critic. And it's almost like our inner critic is like our alter ego. It's that little voice inside us, which is constantly, think of it as actually like this voice behind your head, which is constantly just monitoring what you're doing. And it's like chattering in the background, you know, like constantly telling you how you're not good enough, how, you know, stuff like you're so stupid and you're so dumb and you're so silly, you know, you need to look better and you need to lose more weight and you need to have this sorted and organized in life by the age of 30, by the age of 35, you know, it's just pretty much all of these critical judgments that are going on in our head about ourselves. This is your inner language. And like Beck said, this work isn't easy because it forces you to, not forces, but the work really is to turn around how you have been being and showing up in life for, let's say, 30, 40 years of your life, right? Mm-hmm. So to be able to turn things around, even flip your language, it is going to take some conscious effort. So as a coach, we would work on making you aware of the programs that are going on in your subconscious, the language that you're using, the words that you're using to describe yourself, like, for example, if you achieve something and you are waiting for your boss or your partner to celebrate you versus you celebrating you, that is a good example of, well, how are you talking to yourself? When you achieve something, are you telling yourself that you need to improve more and you need to do more? And there's nothing wrong with improvement, but I guess I'm just trying to say that you can celebrate yourself, but also look at things that need improvement, right? Versus beating yourself about it on what else could have been done better only. So I guess what I'm saying is that our language is something that develops from early childhood, from the way we were spoken to as kids by our parents, from our early caregivers. And then it stays a part of our subconscious, and it constantly shows up as our own inner critic and self-judgment, unless we do the conscious work of turning it around. Yeah. And do you want to add to that, Beck?
Yeah, thank you. I think that's a really good, some really good examples there. And one thing I picked up on that I want to hone in on, you talked about programming and reprogramming our mind. And I mean, this is the essence of NLP, neuro-linguistic programming. It's all about the neuro, our mind, the language of the mind. So of course, it's right there in the title, language. But that programming part, and I think a really interesting way to explain this is, it's like a computer. We turn our computer on and we might open up a Word document, or we open up our emails, and we're just doing things on the surface consciously, right? But in the background, there's all this coding that somebody else has done. And I don't speak computer, so somebody else has coded everything in the background so that when I hit send, or when I type, from my keyboard that's not even connected through a cord, it appears on the screen straight away. So there's all this programming in the background of my computer so that when I do something else happens. That is exactly what's happening in our brain. Consciously choose to do something, but in the background, all this stuff is happening in our unconscious. It's the coding of our brain. And even more importantly, there's so much happening in our unconscious mind that we are not even conscious about. We are breathing. We are not consciously breathing. It just happens, right? We eat something and our body just figures out how to push all those nutrients, minerals, etc., around our body without us even thinking about it. So I just wanted to hone in on that programming part that you talked about, because that leads perfectly into what you were talking about, that inner critic, that language. We don't even consciously think about these things that we're saying to ourselves, do we? That you should have done better. You shouldn't have eaten that. Love that word, shouldn't, right? I should have done something different. I need, like you said, a big one. I need to lose weight. I need to look different. I'm stupid, all of those kinds of things. And I think we say these things to ourselves we think it's a throwaway comment. If we do something, go, oh, Beck, why'd you do that? That was stupid. Now, yeah, that might be a throwaway comment, but if I say that often enough to myself, it's like it builds up in this pile.
Yeah.
And it then becomes a thing. It becomes my unconscious mind going, oh, okay, I get it. We're stupid. Okay, well, that's how it's going to play out in life. Which I think leads really nicely into that quote that I was mentioning from Mahatma Gandhi. And it is, our thoughts become our beliefs become our words become our actions become our habits become our values, and our values become our destiny. When we break that down, we got all the way back to our thoughts and our beliefs, our internal language, those words, if you will, they play out in our destiny. Yes. So if we're constantly telling ourselves something negative about ourselves, we are going to eventually see that play out in our life.
Totally.
Like I said, if we can start turning that language around little bit by little bit, then we eventually are going to see that change play out in our life, in our destiny.
Totally. And a simple example, like actually I have two simple examples to this. One would be that if you're constantly telling yourself that I'm not good at anything, I won't be able to do this, I won't be able to do this, versus I can do anything I set my mind to, or it's all within my hands to give it a shot and try my best. Like, just notice the energy difference between these two things, right? Like, one makes you so powerless because you're just constantly, it's like you're reinforcing the fact that you can't do something and you're going to suck at something. And in the second one, it's a very positive reinforcement that is making you believe. And that's exactly how it's related. Our language becomes our belief, because when you're telling yourself that you can give it your best and you can do anything you put your mind to, you are then believing eventually that you can do that thing. So that becomes a very powerful way of flipping how you are talking to yourself.
Yeah.
And the second thing that I wanted to say, and that's something that I always tell my clients, it's the tiniest tweak.
Yeah.
So let's say one of their goals is to go to the gym 5 times a week, right? And this is someone who's been struggling to stay consistent with their fitness routine. They're really busy with work. So what's happening in their mind, how they are looking at this activity, is that they're telling themselves that I should go to the gym. I need to go to the gym. I need to eat healthy. I need to lose weight. And so where is the fun in that? Because every should that we tell ourselves becomes like a liability, right? But then when you flip that word and say, I want to go to the gym, I choose to eat healthy, I want to look after my body, I choose to meditate. Look at the empowered feeling in these sentences, because now if you want to go to the gym, if you want to look after yourself, that is going to be a priority in your life versus feeling like a liability, which you want to shift to the side. So I guess that would be like my little takeaway for you from this video. So if you're watching this, you can relate to this. Try flipping these two narratives and see how that impacts how you feel and think about yourself. And maybe just do it for a week, 2 weeks, do it for 2 weeks and see what difference does that make.
Yeah. And I think that beautifully takes us back to what we were talking about in the beginning. Those I choose to eat well, I choose to be fit, I choose to meditate, whatever those words are, taking that back to your overall purpose. Because if you can link that to your why, if you link your language to your why, then it's going to take that difficulty out of it. And of course, we want to make things as easy as we possibly can. And I think we're not saying that it's as easy as just switch your language and everything's going to be super duper. When we're working on these things, we do need to truly believe them. I mean, I can't just I'm a big believer in certain affirmations, but I can't just look in the mirror and go, I am rich, powerful, and the best looking woman on the earth, and because there's a little voice inside of me that goes, no, you're not, Beck. I don't truly believe that statement because it's actually not true. Right. So affirmations certainly work, and flipping your language around, like the examples that Parul has given, certainly work. But we're not suggesting that just, thinking positively and, turning every single little thing around works. We do need to do the deeper work. We do need to truly believe what we're telling ourselves. And that's why linking that language, like you suggested, to our purpose, our why, is so incredibly powerful. So definitely. I'd love to ask you, Parul, just I guess to finish this segment off is, do you have one particular tip on if we are going to flip this language around, what's a tool that we can use to help us do that, to get us started if we've never done it before?
Yeah, so I would say, like, for me, something that has really helped me rewire my own unhelpful narratives. And I do want to preface this by saying that, of course, this tool has helped me while working with a coach. So I needed to work with someone who was pointing out the things that that I needed to shift. And then I followed it up. I've always followed it up with journaling, and I do very similar work with my clients. So, like, one of the things that you can do is pick out your 3 narratives that are not serving you, that are pulling you down, but they go on repeat in your head. So let's say these are the 3 things that your inner critic says: that you're not good looking enough, you are dumb, or, like, you always make these mistakes, or you're clumsy, like just something that repeats in your head all the time, or that comes up instantly right after you feel like you didn't do something right in a situation. Then it's helpful to ask yourself, where is that coming from? Like, do you really believe that sentence to be true? Like, get curious about the thoughts that are going on in your head and notice the feelings that come with them, right? So when you tell yourself something restrictive, something not very pleasant, then does that make you feel contractive in your body? Does that make you feel small? So noticing if that's how you're talking to yourself, is that how you are showing up in a situation? Is that, like, what's your body language like? Because if you want your body language to be positive and open and, like, straight shoulders, is that being supported by the language in your head?
Yeah.
And finally, coming back to the point that I was saying, questioning where that's coming from. So questioning if this is really your thought, or was this taken, like, have you adopted this because this is something that someone used to tell you constantly? It's something that you used to hear a lot around you. And then finally, choosing to flip it, to be like, well, I noticed this thought. I notice that I contract when I think like this, and my body language doesn't feel great. I remember that maybe this teacher in my school once said this to me, or this is the message I used to get from my parents while growing up. But I'm an adult now, and I don't need to still carry this language with me. I see that it's not serving me. So what can I replace it with? Can I replace it with a more positive, a more helpful affirmation that I can believe? Like Beck said, that was a really good point. Something that feels believable, but more reinforcing, more positive reinforcement in the way you talk to yourself.
Yeah, because then that creates that new neural pathway, doesn't it? Which is exactly what we're doing with our work in NLP. And I like to explain that to people like, a pathway. Okay, you're in a forest, and there's a pathway with a beaten track. You know exactly where you're going. There's a signpost. Somebody's been through there before and hacked back all the branches, so it's an easy path. Let's call that neural pathway A.
Mm-hmm.
But that pathway is not leading you to where you want to go. That's the negative language that you're using, or that language that's no longer serving you. You want to create a new neural pathway. So, you're in the forest, but you're looking, perhaps it's that fork in the road, and you're looking down the other pathway, and it's all overgrown. There's grass on the ground, there's vines and everything. When you flip that language around, you're essentially starting to create a new neural pathway. You're going to have to walk through it a few times. You're going to have to get that machete and hack back those vines. You're going to have to beat down that path. So when you do flip that language and you start using it, you start using your journal to write it down, to actually visualize it. when you do catch yourself saying it, you go, hang on, stop, Beck. What do I want to flip that around to? And so you start creating that new neural pathway. And eventually you've got a whole new pathway in your forest. You know, it's an easy path. There's a signpost, and it is actually leading you to where you want to go. In the meantime, this other pathway starts growing over. You know, the grass starts growing on the ground, the vines start covering it again, because you don't need it anymore. And eventually your unconscious is going to know to go down this pathway. And I think that's great that you've introduced journaling there, Parul, because I know that we've both had some fantastic breakthroughs.
Yes.
And part of our transformation is journaling. And that's a great way to start that flipping the language. And I really loved that point that you made. Sorry, I jumped over you there. But one thing that you said is it true? You know, when we say these things to ourselves, the first question you can ask yourself, well, is this true? Or is this a story that I'm making up, or that I have made up in the past that's just playing itself out?
Yeah, really just getting curious about how you're talking to yourself, your life experiences, and what's making you say these things that you're saying to yourself, because we don't realize how these constant things that we are saying, thinking, feeling, believing, like they become our personality, which is why they completely impact how we show up in life. And hence they impact our reality, and they impact what's happening around us. And we are going to be diving deeper into all of these things in our later videos. But yeah, it is just like so much power in getting curious about ourselves. And also, I just wanted to add, when you were talking, that I have literally exhausted journals after journals. And I have so much fun every time there's like something going on in my head, which feels like this mush ball that I'm not happy about. I go to my journal, I dump it all, and I make sense of it from there. And it's one of the best tools that has helped me rewire, get clarity, you know, become light when I have too much going on. So definitely get on to journaling. You will not regret this.
I think we'll definitely do a little video specifically about journaling, because I know there's going to be people out there going, I don't like writing things down. Yeah. I don't like journaling. I've tried it before. It didn't work for me. And there's so much, I mean, we could talk for hours on any of these topics, I think, but yeah, we'll definitely do one about journaling.
Yeah.
Benefits and how you can get started if you're sitting there going, oh my goodness, I don't even know what to write. But we've given you an idea today about how you can start. Is there anything else you want to jump in with before we wrap things up today, Parul?
Very happy to leave it here with, like, you know, an easy message for all of you to notice your language, notice your inner critic, get curious about yourself. If you can, start journaling, no judgment, like just write what's going on and see how you can flip it. And if you have any questions, definitely feel free to get in touch with us. Like, we love talking about this stuff, and we would love to give you more information that can, help you clarify more things. And just stay tuned for our next videos.
Yeah. And so for people watching on the Moonbeam Monday page, what's your socials handle?
Oh, thank you for that. My social handle, I'm very active on Instagram, and my Instagram handle is Parl. So that's my name minus the U. Sharma, SHARMA_. And my website is parulsharma.com.au. Awesome. Those are the two channels where I'm very active.
Yeah, great. And we, of course, are at Moonbeam Monday on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn, or at moonbeammonday.com.au. You can find us. So, yeah, thank you so much, Parul. It's been great. I'm so excited that this is our first time that we've jumped on together, and we're really looking forward to bringing you more and more content over the coming weeks and months. And yeah, we hope you have a great day.
Yes, me too. Thank you for doing this with me, Beck. It's been so much fun. Yes. And have a beautiful day, everyone. We'll see you in one of the next videos. Bye.
Bye.